All right, guys, it's time we talk about Resident Evil 2 Remake. This is an absolute fantastic game. Now, I have not beaten the game yet. I'm trying not to give too much of the story away. I've only played with one character, Leon. I'm probably about 40% done with the game. Maybe I'm halfway, somewhere in there. At least with his campaign. I know there's still stuff I need to do with Claire, and then I think there's a second run for both characters as well. I'm still, learning about all that. I've only had very limited time with the game, but if you were on the fence about getting this game, guys, if you played the demo and you were like, I don't know about this one, or maybe you're new to the franchise, or you're worried about playing the remake because you don't want to spoil your memory of the original, guys, I'm telling you, this will be an absolute awesome first purchase for you in 2019 if this is your game of January. I cannot stress it enough. Everything, guys, the graphics, the voice acting, all the way down to the smallest details, they've got it covered in this game. My focus in this commentary today, though, is talking about the pace of everything. I find that a lot of times with games like this, the pacing can be off. In fact, I can tell you guys 20 titles in the last few years that should have been great, but the pacing was off. The way that you get from point A to point B and the things you have to do in between is just too sluggish, right? And this game could have easily been bogged down with that, but it's not. The pacing of this game is great, especially when you're coming from the standpoint of trophy hunting, which a lot of us do on this channel. I know this may not apply to you. Well, no, it will apply to you, even if you're not a trophy hunter, because the flow of the game still works, right? I think we've all played games, especially if you've ran games back in the day, the Metroid games and stuff like that, where you can't get into a door, you can't get into an area until you find the key, and then you got to go find the key and come back. And there's a lot of backtracking involved, and that can even be cumbersome at times, right? It can be that sluggish thing that you have to do between point A and point B. Not with this game. Not with this game. It seems like every room you go into, right, there's something special that you have to pick up. And that thing is what you've been looking for, right? And then you only have to go back 2 or 3 rooms to get to that area that was locked off before, right? It's perfect. And not only from a standpoint of flow, but when you're looking at the collectibles in this game, which there's a ton, especially like I said, if you're a trophy hunter, you're gonna have to get all these collectibles for your trophies. A lot of times you go into a room and there'll be 2 or 3 collectibles in one room, right beside each other, which is great because I feel like every 3 to 5 minutes, I'm getting something not only toward my trophy progress, but I'm getting that item I've been looking for, right? The cutting tool or the round wheel or whatever you're needing to get through that area of the game that's been locked off before. I find that it's every like 5 minutes or so, it feels like I'm getting that thing. And the maps are great, so you can see exactly where you're going. There's little icons on the map that show you, okay, this is that door that was locked earlier that you couldn't get to. So it's not even like you have to recall everything from memory. You just pull up your map, check the little icons, and you're good to go. The pacing is fantastic, guys. Now, granted, I haven't finished the game, so it could fall off the rails as I continue, but for right now, my first impressions, everything in this game, guys, is absolutely superb. On a quality level that's like no other in recent years with games. I mean, I remember playing The Last of Us back in the day, and I was like, this is a masterpiece. This game right here is gorgeous. It's got everything you want, the characters, all that good stuff, right? This game is bringing back those memories, right? From playing The Last of Us, which is really cool. Now, I'm not trying to say that one's better than the other. I'm just saying the same feeling I got when I played The Last of Us, where I just could not put the controller down. I had to play. I never got bored, right? With none of it. That's how I'm feeling with Resident Evil 2's remake. I'm never getting bored. In fact, I've played through the first, I would say 40% of the game or so, maybe half at 3 different times, because of course I'm doing guides for you guys and I'm building a 100% guide. So I'm kind of playing a few hours and then, writing my guide. And even that, the multiple playthroughs are not even boring. And typically with me, even with games like Dark Souls, I love Dark Souls, but when you've played it as many times as I have, it starts to get a little bit boring, especially when you're trophy hunting every time you play it, right? I do not get this feeling with this game. And from what I can gather, right, because I feel like I'm about 40–50% done with the game, it's really not all that long, right? It's long for me because I'm having to stop and start so much. to make videos and take notes. But if I were just playing straight through, it doesn't really feel like it's that long of a campaign. Everything is jam-packed. Like I said, you go into a room, there'll be 3 or 4 things you can do in that one room. And then, like I said, in terms of collectibles, and you guys know I hate collectibles in video games because they always put in 200-300 of them. A good example is like Far Cry 3. Love Far Cry 3. I'm actually playing it right now in my downtime. But there's 34 outposts. There's a trophy for like doing 9 radio towers, and they're boring to do. But the sluggish part comes when you have to go from a point A to point B, right? You're going to get attacked by 10 animals on the way to that, you know, to your destination. There's going to be 3 enemies that's going to attack you randomly. There's going to be 2 jeeps that's going to attack you randomly, right? And if at any point in that process you die, boom, you have to go back to point A again and make the trip again, right? So the process of getting that collectible or doing those outposts or whatever in a game like Far Cry is very sluggish. And I think in Far Cry 3, you have like 60 relics you got to collect, 20 letters, you know, the radio towers, and it just gets very sluggish and you just start hating it after a few minutes. And I was looking at the collectible list for this game, and there are a ton of collectibles, but I'm like, oh man, every 2-3 minutes though, boom, I'm going into a new room and there's 3 or 4 collectibles in one room, right? Or there's that, like I said, that thing that I need, that key item that I need to progress the story. It just feels great. And I really don't like to give you advice on what games you should buy, but I'm telling you, if you played the demo, you're new to the franchise, you're iffy about this game, buy it. Trust me, you will like it at $60. It'll be a great buy for you. Definitely get it when it's cheaper. If you don't want to spend $60 on it, just get it later, but definitely play this game at some point. Promise me you will. It's such a fantastic game, guys. But let me know what you guys think about Resident Evil 2 Remake. Are you playing it? I know a few of you have already hit me up in comments saying that you're playing it and you're absolutely loving it. But I really just wanted to put my 2 cents in here. I've only been playing it for a little over a day and I cannot get enough of it, guys. More content coming your way. See you guys right back here in the next one. Be good.